A package in the mail, MSX games from Japan. Collecting without fail, those shoot 'em ups, and that's the plan. He doesn't just collect them, he also codes them too. Join us and we'll go on electric adventures with you.
Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with my channel update for November 2017. Months are ticking away quick this year, or they seem to me. Not a tremendous amount of other pickups this month, but there are some. These first two items were actually ordered with one item that I showed in last month's video, but for some reason, and they both arrived separately as well. They are both well worth getting. So they're from Mark Bustler from Classic Game Room, and they are the Ultra Massive Video Game Console Guide, Volume 1, which was very entertaining, and even more so is Volume 2. Now, they both cover quite different systems. Obviously there are several systems I really like in Volume 2, but I also think that Mark's writing style improved in the second one. Not that it's bad in the first one, I just think the second one is better, and they really are very good. He has lots of photos. There's the SG-1000, and he talks about various systems. There we go. So lots of really good photos talking about you know, his stories and a little bit of information about each system. It's not supposed to be a be-all to end-all guide on the systems, but they are a really interesting read and a very nice addition to the books that I have on retro computers and consoles. So very happy to have those. Also, something that I actually missed from last month when I went away on my... I didn't miss it in last month, that's right. It actually happened last month. I got to go on I did a video on it. I got to go up north and play pinball for a day, and it was very, very good. On the way, the guys did some trades that I went with, and I got a copy of Road Rash for the Mega Drive. No, I don't have a copy of Road Rash for Mega Drive. I've got the Master System version, but not the Mega Drive one. It doesn't have the instructions. It does have an important little sticker up there. See that little sticker? That's actually the store I used to work in. So this was sold by the store that I used to work in back in the day. It's amazing how things go around in circles. No manual, but the cartridge is okay, and it's got a sticker on there as well. I won't be removing those stickers for nostalgia reasons. Also, really should have written a list. I also got these, which are box protectors. They're specifically Atari 2600 protectors, but they fit on ColecoVision titles as well. I'm going to see if hopefully they fit the Intellivision titles as well, because I'm worried about some of my older titles getting a bit of sun damage here in Australia. And plus, also for the boxes that aren't in perfect condition, it helps hold them together without being squashed, especially if you move anything around on your shelves. I'm just trying to think whether I got anything. Oh yes, I did. God, dearie me. So during the month, you would have seen I did a video, and I got a whole heap of arcade boards. I'm still waiting on parts to wire up the harnesses on a few of those boards, but several of them worked. One of them that did work was Double Dragon. And I actually traded that. I mean, some people may really like that game, but I actually traded it for another two arcade boards, one of them that I've been after for a long time. Now, it's not the original of the game, it's a complete hardware clone. So the original game that I've always loved is Time Pilot, so I've managed to get hold of an actual Space Pilot PCB. And I really, I'll hopefully show some pictures of it. also came with, as part of the trade, a Tiger Heli PCB, which is actually the game before Twin Cobra. I don't actually remember playing Tiger Heli very much in the arcades. I have played the NES version. Now both of them of course are pre-jammer boards, so they both require custom harnesses, and I don't have any edge connectors that are that size. I didn't really want to chop up a jammer edge connector. Patience is the thing, so I have ordered some edge connectors that fit. I'm just waiting for them to arrive, so I have no idea whether those boards work. And also I've got more of the other boards to go through, so very much looking forward to those. I'll do a particular video on those games as I get them working, which hopefully won't be too far off. Probably only be another week or so before I get the required parts, and then obviously I need to get the time to wire up the harnesses. So that's really all for the pickups. I haven't seen a lot of questions around the month, but there was another modern game that came out during the month, and it's the sequel to another modern game that I got a bit over a year ago called Star Wars Battlefront. So Star Wars Battlefront 2 was the game that came out, and I just wanted to talk about my thoughts on the controversy surrounding that game and microtransactions and things. Also, one of my main beefs was I pre-ordered the original Star Wars Battleground. I thought, great, you know, EA have got the Star Wars franchise and they'll make a nice game. And I got that game and I was bored with it in 20 to 30 minutes because I like games that I can sit down and I can play by myself, have a bit of a story, and have some puzzles to figure out. I've never really been into the multiplayer run around a map and shoot people type of games. Now I know some people love those types of games, and that's fine. That's up to them. But it wasn't my game, so I was very disappointed. I was very hesitant to put money towards another one. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know about the other part of the controversy. So I didn't pre-order the number 2. I wasn't excited about it at all. And I thought, well, why don't they bring out? They've got the license. EA have the license to produce any Star Wars games, other than some concessions for some people producing mobile games. They've got the license for all platforms. And so what have they done? They've made one Star Wars Battleground game, which is fair enough for that audience. And now they've brought out Star Wars Battleground 2, and they haven't brought out any other Star Wars game. That's my main beef. But I also am not a fan of the way they're creeping in microtransactions. And being a father of multiple children, I wouldn't like my children being able to play a game and then actually have to buy things in game to get some of the stuff that's advertised on the box, which is some of the main characters. You can't actually get those characters unless you grind away, earning points and everything to get some of these characters. And it almost appeared like you couldn't get some of the characters unless you actually paid more for them. I don't believe in that style of game sales at all. Now, I do agree that a developer, if they bring out a game and they say bring out extra missions and stuff like that that weren't part of the original game, sure they can charge for those, and they might want to run servers and run premium servers and give people access to those, something like that. But to actually charge for content that should actually be in the original game, also considering that the development of the second game would pretty much use the engine of the first game, and so what have they done for the second game? They've hardly developed anything as far as concerned. And then you also hear reports that it doesn't run at full frame rate, so they've actually made the game worse than it was before as well. And they've snuck in some token single player campaign, which apparently is better than the stupid training missions for the first game, and the fact that it actually does have a bit of a story. I probably would be interested in playing that one day, but would I pay the original launch price of $100, which soon went down to $80 and is now down to $50, and we're only a couple of weeks after launch? So if that says anything about how well the game is selling, still wouldn't pay that. When it's in a special bin for $12, I might buy it just so I can play that single player campaign and see what it's about. But other than that, I am totally not interested in it. And this goes back to my bane beef. EA have the exclusive for making Star Wars games. And how long has it been? Since the, you've had that they've had the original Star Wars 7, and you've had Rogue One. See, Rogue One's so good it's actually blanked out the other one in my mind. And they come out and they've made 2 games that are exactly the same game. Where's all the other games? It's not as if I'm a Star Wars game nut or anything, but where's things like Super Star Wars, Super Emperor Strikes Back? I mean, sure, they're simple games, but then you get into Shadows of the Empire. Star Wars Battle of the New, that's not the best one. Rogue Squad, the original Rogue Squadron is, but I don't have a locked one of those. Star Wars Racer, something a bit different. It's a racing game. And then we have the GameCube. I bought a GameCube just to play this game. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, great game, right? No multiplayer battles in that one. Star Wars Rebel Strike, another Rogue Squadron game. So popular, brought out another one. But they didn't just leave it there. They brought out Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Jedi Outcast. That is a really good game on the system. And then, not to be totally there, whatever happened to X-Wing? And of course, its sequels, TIE Fighter. Where are games like that? And you might say, well, that's the battle modes and Battleground. No, it's not the same thing. They had campaigns where you worked your way through and there was a big story and multiple levels where you went through and you improved and you got better. And there's, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, which Outcast is the sequel to. And then, real-time strategy games. Star Wars Battlegrounds. Absolutely love that game. So much so, I bought the expansion. And then, even better, was Star Wars Rebellion. There is a sequel to that. What have I done with it? Oh, I've misplaced that. So, you see what I'm talking about? There are all these different game genres that could fit into the Star Wars universe that they could cater to, and EA aren't producing them. All they're doing is Star Wars Battlegrounds, which is fine for the audience that like that type of game. But there are a lot more of us Star Wars fans out here who are not interested in that sort of game and want to play all these sorts of games, demonstrated by how many of the damn things I've bought over the years. So, that's my opinion, and I don't normally put my opinions out there, but totally not supporting the game. Hope that this is a big enough smear on EA, and I do hear that the advice to get rid of the microtransactions actually came from Disney themselves. I do hope that is true, in which case that's a warning to EA to pick their socks up and actually utilise the license correctly. Because that's another thing, Disney won't want their part of their franchise ruined and the value of those rights to be depreciated by such a poor showing by a vendor. I really do hope they take the exclusivity off EA, maybe allow them to continue to do Star Wars Battleground, because that's all they seem to want to do, and give somebody else a go to create some new creative content inside the Star Wars universe on PCs and consoles and things like that, all those different genres that all us Star Wars fanatics would love to play. Alright, well, that's my lot for this month. It's only a short one. I didn't really chance to take any video of my homebrew stuff. A couple of homebrew games on the go. I'll definitely have more updates in the next couple of weeks, so look on my website and my channel. Let's Make a Retro Game will hopefully be my next video, episode 10 of that people have been asking for, and I'm glad to hear that my Electric Adventures the Games has been well received, so we'll be continuing with that series and basically doing videos on each one of my original games that I wrote back in the 80s. Plus the occasional pickups as Christmas come up, you never know, I might get some more stuff for Christmas. and we'll wait and see. So I hope everybody has a safe holiday season. I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.